Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Howson and this is Performance Analysis Manchester United 4, Everton 0. The third 4-0 win for Manchester United this season. It really feels like that ruthless Jose Mourinho machine is starting to take hold of Manchester United and it feels absolutely fantastic, doesn't it? If you are new around here, this sort of video is sort of bookending a match. I do a pre-match analysis video and then I do a post-match analysis video that sort of looks at what I think is going to happen in the game and then looks back at what actually happened in the game to see if I was right or to see if anything else sort of happened in the game. And my analysis of the Everton game was pretty decent, if I do say so myself. They'd never played this starting 11 that they played yesterday before, but I analysed what they was doing. I put myself into Ronald Koeman's sort of mindset, and I thought, if I had these players at my disposal, how do I try and attack Manchester United? And I got the starting 11 bang on, the system bang on. So I'm obviously looking at the right sort of things, even if the result didn't go Ronald Koeman's way in the end. So today's video is brought to you by the OneFootball app, and you can get all of your football, Manchester United, or any football news that you need on this app. You can also use it for fixtures, you can use it for results. It's got an Opta-powered stats thing on there. This is an absolutely fantastic app. I'm seeing so many people hit me up on Twitter, hit me up in the comments of the video saying, nice one for telling us about the OneFootball app, because it's actually a really good app, and it is a good app. You get the alerts on, get the breaking news, find out what is going on in the world of football, use it for your day-to-day news, use it for your fixtures, use it to find out what's going on in other leagues, check out all the different results from around the world. It's an all-inclusive football app that gives you every single thing that you need to know about what's going on in the football world. It's definitely worth checking out. The link is in the description below, so go and check it out. On with the video. So then, we spoke about Everton being a very solid side, and we saw really in the game because they kept it pretty tight. They had a bit of a period in the second half where they was, arguably on top, arguably, creating some of the better chances, but I don't think that we was ever in danger of Manchester United losing this game. I think even at 1-0 we looked pretty comfortable, and I had the confidence actually that United was gonna score another goal. I mean, you got that nagging thing in your head a little bit, haven't you, that United are going to screw it up, but throughout the game yesterday I did feel confident that Manchester United could go and get a second goal should we need it. I didn't feel like we was going to lose the game. I thought Everton was going to score, but I still thought we would always have enough in the tank to be able to go on and push on and get another goal. Lukaku missed a little bit of a sitter in the game, but then he more than made up for it, putting away what has turned out to be his 7th goal in 7 games, and none of the press are talking about it, which is an absolute disgrace, isn't it? Remember all that furore about having he's got his bad first touch and all the rest of it? Lukaku has turned Manchester United into the clinical machine that we are seeing today. Last season we saw Manchester United creating chances, we had a good defence, we was taking lots of shots. Lukaku almost single-handedly, but it's not really because a lot of the rest of the team have started to pick up and score goals as well. But Lukaku especially is doing what we expected and what we wanted him to do as a number 9, and that is putting the ball in the back of the net. 1 goal a game. Are you kidding me? Did anyone expect to be getting 1 goal a game out of Lukaku? Now he's probably going to go through a rough patch. I also think he's going to score 2 and 3 at some point in games as well. But it's the changing of that one stat which I think is super important. That one stat has turned us from this 6th place club into title contenders. And make no mistake, that is what Manchester United are this season. That one stat has literally turned around what Manchester United are doing and what Manchester United are perceived as. I mean, us as Reds, it's no surprise to us. We was telling everybody, look, like, we're creating chances, we're having all these shots, the ball's just not going in the back of the net. And then it comes out draw Chester United, doesn't it? Oh, you can't beat these at home, you can't beat these at home. We knew ourselves what was going on as United fans, and Lukaku is doing a pretty good job himself of just changing that perception of what Manchester United are. So how did the game go then? What happened and why did it happen? Let's have a look at some of the average maps here. So what you can see here from the 3 at the back is the 3 at the back let them down again. For me, it let them down again. A lot of our chance creation came through the middle as we expected it to do. There's not really a good defensive shape here. They pushed up quite high, I thought, and then they also dropped off deep at the wrong kind of time. Now, as a defence, you want to keep constantly pushing and getting them away from your back line. And what they did at the wrong time was they stayed deep. And they by staying deep, allowed space. When your team is compact from front to back, that's really hard to play balls in through. And when you've got three defensive midfielders, Wayne Rooney leading the line, who doesn't exactly drag defenders out of the way anyway, and then a back three, you've got to make it tight. And if they'd have made it tight, as we've seen Stoke do last week, when they pulled their forwards back and they made that whole shape of the team really tight and compact, then it's difficult to thread passes through. But because they was worried about the pace, and because they didn't really have the players that could keep up with the likes of Lukaku and Rashford, they pulled off. They pulled off and they give them space, and they thought they could defend at arm's length. All that did was allow Mkhitaryan space in front of that back three, and then we started to see balls getting threaded in and around there. 1-2s, nice little movement. Juan Mata had some excellent movement. Mkhitaryan, some excellent one-touch movement, bringing it around literally in front of this defence, which is not what you want to see from a defensive point of view. The other thing to notice from this defensive structure that you can see is here, something that we analysed in the pre-game, is the distance between the centre-halves and the fullbacks. Now, these fullbacks weren't really attacking fullbacks for Everton, so the fact that they're so far away from the back three is a bad sign for Everton, and that is where Manchester United was finding a lot of space. When United allowed our fullbacks to push up and really place oh my God, I can't get my words out, place pressure on Everton's fullbacks, that meant that they had to be man-marked, and then that meant someone in behind, Mata, Rashford, Mkhitaryan, Lukaku when he was peeling wide, had space. And because they had space, one of the centre-halves had to come across and cover. That's not what you want from a back three. You want the back three to be a solid unit, and you want the full-backs to be doing that job. And especially when you've got a defensive midfield unit three in front of them, you want them guys to be sweeping up as well. That's not what happened in this instance for Everton, and that is why Manchester United was able to create so many chances. What's also interesting to note on this Everton side of things is Wayne Rooney's positioning. If you see how far away Wayne Rooney is from our box, that's because Manchester United's defence did an excellent job in pushing him back, but also because Wayne Rooney likes to come deep and find work. I think he gets a little bit bored when he's not getting the service that he requires as a number 9. That's why he's not a number 9. He doesn't stretch the play. He doesn't keep the defensive line moving. He doesn't keep that defensive line pushed back. And as we said earlier when we're saying you want a team to be compact from front to back, that's an easy defensive shape. Now, a player like Chicharito, a proper number 9 that's moving around and really causing chaos in that back line like Lukaku does, keeps that defence occupied and stops them being able to push up. Rooney doesn't do that. When Rooney gets bored, he comes looking for work, which is an admirable trait. But ultimately, he's the detriment to his team. And it wasn't just Rooney, because when you see the positioning of Calvert-Lewin and Sandro, you see how far back they are and how far Manchester United's defence and Matic and Fellaini was able to keep them away from our box. And that's why it was a good defensive and tactical performance from Manchester United's point of view. Because if you look at the average passes here of Everton, you will see there's very, very little going into Manchester United's box. And if you're able to keep a team at arm's length away from the box, they're left with the occasional little lucky chance or long shots. And now Sigurdsson has got a long shot on him, but we didn't really see it yesterday. And Manchester United did an excellent defensive performance in my eyes because of this. And if Everton want to know why they're not scoring goals, it's probably not down to individual performances. It's probably not down to individual misses. There's something in their system which isn't allowing them to get further up the pitch and actually get some penetration into the box. And if they can fix that, the rest of the team's pretty solid and they'll probably go on and do something. But luckily, it wasn't their time this weekend and they didn't manage to do it against Manchester United. Now, on the United side of things, it was a little bit different. We're clearly playing a wide 4-2-3-1. You can see the fullbacks pushed up here. They're providing a lot of width. They're occupying the wing-backs, the fullbacks from Everton side of things and allowing our attackers space in the final third. And the positioning of Mkhitaryan's interesting as well, because Mkhitaryan was having to drop a lot deeper than he normally does to make up for the fact that Paul Pogba wasn't in the team and do some of the creative and bring the ball forward, because you're not really getting that out of Matic, you're not really getting that out of Fellaini. What you see from these two is two defensive colossuses that just didn't let anything come through. There was a big midfield battle on yesterday, and I think it was probably 50-50 on the balance of things, because you see Sigurdsson and Rooney dropping into midfield, as well as the midfield three that they've got, who was more on the defensive side of things. Davies was trying to make things happen, but Ganagay and Schneiderlin didn't really look to advance with the ball. They was literally there to provide a bit of a screen for the back three. So there was a little bit of a battle going on, and I think it was probably 50-50 on the face of things. But the shape from Manchester United's team here shows that we knew what we was doing. It's a little bit narrow at the top. Mata comes in, he likes to drift, he likes to make things happen. Rashford comes in for himself. I think if we had just one player in that final third that was just delivering crosses in for the others, then Manchester United would be an absolute force to be reckoned with no matter who you put us up against. So all in all, it was a really positive performance from Manchester United, a really pleasing performance. We're joint top of the league, we are scoring goals, we're keeping clean sheets. The early goal was the key to drawing Everton out. When they pushed forward, I mean they did push forward and brought Calvert-Lewin and Sandro on late in the game. They did try and push forward, and that was when Manchester United exploited that space expertly. They exploited the fact that Everton was now taking a little bit more risk, and we scored 3 goals and we killed the game off. I mean, we've seen this happen more than once now this season for Manchester United, and I think this is something that's going to continue to happen. The difference between this season and last season is it would have been 0-0 when this happened last season, and we might have gone a goal down and had to get an equaliser, or we might have been 1-0 and then they pushed and managed to get one and we didn't have the firepower at the other end to be able to go and put them away, or something along those lines. You've all seen the draws, you all know what happened. But I think that's the difference between teams this year. So we're getting that early goal, which has given us the confidence that actually we can score some goals, and then when a team does come at us, we're getting in behind and we're being absolutely ruthless at the other end. So on to Burton next then. There's not going to be a pre-match analysis for the Burton game, just a bit of a quick preview. There will be a pre-match analysis, proper one, on Friday for Saints, so make sure you check that one out. I'm off to Bilbao in the morning to go and watch Athletic Bilbao against Atletico Madrid. Me and Dave are going, we're going to go and make some videos out there. We're going to go and chat to some people in Bilbao, so keep an eye out for that content as it comes out. I am back in time for the podcast on Thursday, so make sure you're checking out that one over on the podcast channel. All the links are in the description below, and there's nothing else left to say apart from thank you for watching. Please give it a share if you enjoy this kind of content. Any questions, comments, queries or abuse, if you like that sort of thing, get it in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next one.